Yo, what is going on YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be catching a fish on these jelly worms right here. In one of my last challenge videos, I caught fish on Swedish fish sweets. So I thought, what better than to try fishing on jelly worms? Because you fish on worms anyway, so why not try jelly worms? Now, perch tend to like worms, so I'm feeling I could catch a nice big perch on one of these, potentially. So make sure you stick around until the end, just to see if I do catch one of them. But even if I don't catch a perch, I'll still get roach, bream, gudgeon, I'll get everything on these bad boys. I'm just going to go and grab my fishing pole, my tackle box, and I've already got my bait, and then I can head down the canal and start fishing. Got the pole. I would take a rod, but I prefer fishing poles on the canal, it's a lot easier. Grab the tackle box, worms are there, and I'll head down the canal right now. I'll see you down the canal. I've arrived down the canal at the usual spot. In fact, the spot where I fish in most videos. So I've got my jelly worms here, got my pole, and I've got my rig in there. So I'm going to rig the pole up real quick. Pole's now all rigged up. Now it's time to set the depth with my 4-step scissors because I keep losing plummet weights. The depth is now set. So now all that the boring stuff is done, we can finally get to putting on the jelly worms. I'm going to open the box of these bad boys and see what we're looking at. Okay, so the worms are looking quite big. They're all different colours, so maybe I can do a challenge catching a fish on each different colour. But for the most of it, they're looking pretty good. I think all I'll have to do is snap them in half, because they won't fit on the hook otherwise, and I definitely won't catch anything with them full size because they're a bit chunky. So I'm just going to snap one in half real quick. I've got one out. They're about the size of my little pinky finger. So I'm going to go with the blue one, and I'm going to snap that in half, probably about there, and then I'll get to popping it on the hook. So I've snapped off the head of the worm. I'm just going to squish it down quite a bit. Even though it's pretty big, but I'm sure a perch will devour this. So I'm going to pop it on my hook, which is here, and then I'll sink it to the bottom and hopefully catch a fish. Well, not hopefully, definitely catch a fish. I've got my jelly worm, blue raspberry flavour this one is, so this is the first flavour sort of thing that I'm going to be catching a fish on. Once I've caught a fish on the blue raspberry flavour, I'll move on to probably the red one, then the orange, then the yellow, and then the green. That's if I catch that many, by the way, but I'll move along the colour every time I catch one, obviously. So first is blue. Let's get this in. There is unfortunately a barge coming, but first let's just dip this in real quick. It's sunk to the bottom pretty fast. And there we go. Let's just wait for the bites to arrive. Seeing as I've got a bit of the blue worm on the hook at the moment, I'm going to dice this up into little pieces, and then I'm going to throw it in and sort of use it as ground bait just to lure some fish in. They smell quite strong as well, and they're bright blue, so it's going to attract a fish. Here we go. I've diced them all up into little pieces, so my hook's about there. One stuck to me. There we go. All of them are now sunk to the bottom. Shortly, there will be anyway. And let's get catching. Guys, I'm actually having some bites quite early in. I did not think that I'd catch one this fast. Well, I'll say that I haven't caught it yet. Here we go, it's still bobbing. That's under. No. Missed it. That's a good sign though, we're already getting some bites. I've just had another very small bob. It went right under and came straight back up, and now they've stopped again. It's obviously like a little gudgeon trying to bite at it or something like that. But I'm keeping a very close eye on this because I'm determined to catch a fish. I really want to. The bites have came back. I don't know if you guys can see my float. It's like a little green dot. But come on, fish, just take the bait, please. Just get that hook in your mouth. It'd be much appreciated. I've put 2 of the little pieces of worm on now, so I don't know if that will make it any harder, but 2 of the pieces of the jelly worm are on. Just, you know, just to bait the spot up a bit more, if that makes sense. But it's working a trick somehow because the fish are biting at it. I've just whipped myself up a lovely little roach. I got this little fella unhooked. He decided to flop on the floor, but he's all good. Let's get him released really quick. But can you guys believe I actually caught this on a little, what's it called, a little jelly worm? That's crazy. Seeing as I caught that fish, I've just put a red piece on, a red jelly worm, and I'm going to get this in, hopefully get another fish. I had another little fish on. No way. Let's get back in and get fished on this. Get what? Get fish on this again. This bait works magic. I've just had another bite on it I'm back in now, but I've just had a fish on the blue one, right? And then I dip this straight back in. I have another fish on it, but it plops off as you saw on the video then. And now I'm getting another fish. Bites again. It's biting. Come on, no, he's gone. I'm doing the same thing again. I've diced up some of the red worm and I'm gonna just chuck that in where I'm fishing. Hopefully that'll do the same trick as last time. By the way guys, these are all of the flavours that I'll be using just to catch these fish. So I've already caught one on blue raspberry, so we can check that one off. Now I'm on strawberry because it's red, I'd assume, so it's strawberry. I think next I'll go with the pineapple and then the other two. This is working in a treat. It's doing like really, really well. The fish no longer seem to be interested in the bait underneath the water. In fact, they keep coming up on top of the water here. I see them swerve up and they're just like eating leaves and stuff for some reason. They're only little tiny fish, but I mean, just take the bait under the water. The bites have like entirely stopped now. I'm not having no bobs or anything for about half an hour, I'd say. It's really boring at the moment. But I mean, like I said in my last video, when you're doing these challenges on the videos and stuff, they're really fun when you catch the fish, but they take forever to catch. Honestly, I think the spot that I've always fished, it's kind of going dud. Like finally, it's the fish are all moving out of this place now and they're moving elsewhere. But oh, that's kind of sad. I fished here for ages, about 6 months or 7 months or something, and it's always been really active. You whip the most, but now it's slowing down, even on these dodgy baits I'm using. Well, this red worm does not seem to be attracting much attention from the fish, so I think I'm going to try and pop this yellow worm on, which is the pineapple flavour. The fish must not like strawberries or something. Maybe they'll like pineapple, so I'm going to pop a pineapple one on and see if this will do me any good. Hold on a second guys, the second I whipped it up to put this yellow one on, I whipped up this little gudgeon on the red worm, so the red worm actually caught. So I've now caught on a blue worm and a red one. But first let's get this little gudgeon unhooked. That is awesome how I've just caught him, like by mistake pretty much. I just lifted it up, as I mentioned, to put the yellow one on, and then I caught him. But let's pop him back in the water real quick. Awesome, that's the second catch of the day on these worms. That's now these two checked off, and now it's pineapple. Are we doing that one? And maybe the other two. But I've rolled this up, so let's pop it on the hook real quick. I've now put the yellow piece of the jelly worm on. Let's whip this back in the water really quick. I'm back fishing. Hopefully I'll get another fish. Just like I've done with all the other worms so far. I've diced up these ones and I'm gonna chuck all of them in around my little hook, and hopefully they'll attract the fish in. Oh man, I've just missed some bites. Thankfully, it is still biting. Go on, come on. No, I missed it. Come on, get back in. Guys, I'm not being funny, I'm having loads of bites right now, big ones as well, so it could be a perch. But I'll put it back in exactly where I was getting the bites just, and oh, they're back. I didn't film it as a barge was coming past, but I have whipped up a perch, the species that I'd literally targeted. But the barge was right there, it came past, and I saw this go right under, and then this little fella popped up. He put up a nice little fight as well, but I'll get him unhooked now real quick. Look at how cool he is. He's got his little spine up, and he's only a small perch, but he's really nice, so get him back in the water as quick as possible. But that's 3 fish now, 3 baits I've used basically. So I've ticked off blue raspberry, strawberry and pineapple now, so now I'm going to go with lime. But first, I'm just going to say this challenge is going really, really, really well at the moment. As of now, I've got this little blob now, so I'm going to hook that wherever my hook is. Give me a second. The lime jelly worm is now hooked. Let's get that in the water and get fishing. Same as usual, I'm going to chuck them in as ground bait. So far, I'm just really happy that I've actually caught 3 fish on 3 of the different baits. Like, well, not the different baits, they're all the same bait, but different colours, you know what I mean? Even if I don't catch on the lime one and the other flavour, I'm not too fussed. I've caught 3 fish on these mysterious baits. This lime jelly worm is taking its time to catch a fish. It's taking absolutely ages. I mean, a barge has just came past, but before the barge came past, I was getting tons of bites on it. It was going up and down, but it must have been somewhat small because it weren't just taking. Fish on, guys, fish on. This is awesome. So I've just unhooked this little guy. I thought it was a roach at first, then I thought it was a rudd, but now I've realised it's a bream. It's like a little silver bream, I think. Let's pop him back in, get all the slime off my hand because these things are disgusting. But that is now another one checked off the list. I've caught a fish on the line worm. So let's take a look at this. Them 4 are all off. Now it's for the tangerine one. Tangerine one. Come on, one more fish. It all comes down to this one. Will I catch a fish on this tangerine jelly worm? I'm personally, I think yes, but tangerine jelly worm is on the hook. Let's get this bad boy in the water. For the final time, I'm going to chuck in some grown bait. There we go. What's cool is, as of yet, I've pretty much caught a different species every single time. I thought the camera was rolling, but apparently not. I've just whipped up this perch. That's that, guys. I've caught on every single bait now, every single flavour of them jelly worms I've caught on, which equals 5 fish, I suppose. Get this little guy back in. Lovely little perch that was. Well, what a challenge that's been. It was quite hard at start, but then it got a bit easier. I've caught on every single one of them flavours now, and there's not many worms left in there, to be honest. But jelly worms, I've caught fish on jelly worms now, so that's another one added to the collection of strange baits I've caught on. But with no catching it on every single one of them baits, I've got to wrap the video up here. What an awesome video that's been though. That's another one of the fishing challenges added to the collection. Another one of the strange baits added to the collection of strange baits I've caught on, as I mentioned already earlier. But it was just a cool little adventure out here. Like, I honestly can't believe I even caught on them baits, but there we go, I've done it. With that though, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the thumbs up button. Just leave a like down there, please, means a lot. Subscribe to the channel whilst you're down there as well. And once you subscribe, turn on the post notification bell so you never miss one of my other videos. Check out some of my videos on screen right here. Subscribe again, please. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace for now.